Do you know what really happens to our muscles after the age of 60? It's not just a little bit of loss here and there. If we don't take care of ourselves properly, we can lose up to 30 to 40% of our muscle mass. And this isn't just some number floating in a medical journal. It's a sobering reality. According to the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle in 2019, at least 1 out of every 10 seniors suffers from severe muscle loss, so severe that they can't stand up from a chair without help. Walking becomes a challenge, and the risk of falls and broken bones skyrockets. But here's what's even more alarming. Even if you eat well, even if you drink your protein shakes every single day, you can still keep losing muscle. Why? Because after 60, the body no longer absorbs and uses protein the way it did at 30 or 40. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance. In simple terms, it means your muscles resist the very building blocks that are supposed to keep them strong. That's why so many older adults, even those spending hundreds of dollars every month on protein powders and fancy formulas, still complain. I feel weaker every week. My strength is slipping away. Every morning it's harder to get out of bed. And here's the truth the protein industry will never tell you. The answer isn't in those expensive tubs of powder. Today, I want to share something different. I'm Dr. Jame. After more than 30 years studying aging and nutrition, I've learned that the real solution comes from something much simpler: 8 everyday foods. They're affordable, safe, and surprisingly powerful. Foods that can spark your muscles back to life and stop muscle loss, starting with your very next meal. Not the chalky powders, not the miracle pills you see on TV, but the very foods our parents and grandparents ate around the kitchen table for generations. Foods that modern science has finally proven to be muscle savers. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through a countdown, from number 8 all the way down to number 1. And believe me, when you hear the top food on this list, you'll be shocked. You'll probably ask yourself, why didn't I start sooner? For years, many of us have been told, if you want to keep your muscles strong, you need protein powder. The commercials always look the same: smiling seniors, full of energy, holding a frothy shake in their hands. The message is clear. This is the secret to staying young and strong. But let me tell you the truth. Protein powders, whether whey, soy, or plant-based, are industrial products that have been heavily processed. And that processing strips away so many of the natural compounds your body actually needs to build and protect muscle. They're often filled with artificial sweeteners that upset your gut bacteria. They rely on cheap synthetic vitamins that your body doesn't absorb well. And most importantly, they provide isolated protein without the natural partners, enzymes, minerals, healthy fats, that help protein do its job in the first place. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2021 showed that for people over 65, protein powders alone did not significantly improve muscle strength or muscle mass compared to eating whole foods rich in protein. Even worse, I've seen so many older patients struggle with bloating, indigestion, or mild diarrhea after drinking shakes every day. Remember, after 60, the digestive system naturally slows down, forcing it to process an artificial industrial protein often makes things worse, not better. I think of one patient in particular, Mrs. Eleanor, age 72. She told me, "Doctor, I make my whey protein shake every single day. My stomach feels swollen, I feel tired, but I tell myself it's worth it to keep my muscles." But after a full year, her scan still showed she had lost nearly 4 pounds of lean muscle. When I encouraged her to set the powders aside and instead focus on simple meals, eggs, canned salmon, beans, fermented milk, and to add just a bit of light exercise, the change was remarkable. 3 months later, she came back to me with a smile I'll never forget. "Doctor, for the first time in years, I stood up from my chair without pushing myself up with my hands." You see, the miracle isn't in an expensive tub of powder. It's in the everyday foods your body has known, trusted, and thrived on for decades. And that's exactly why, in just a moment, I'm going to take you through a countdown of 8 real foods that can protect your muscles. We'll start with something so ordinary you probably have it in your kitchen right now. Yet it carries extraordinary power for anyone over 60. Have you ever thought that something as ordinary as black beans could protect your muscles even better than protein powder? Most folks think of black beans as just something you'd find in soups or stews. But modern science shows these little beans carry a quiet power, plant-based protein plus resistant starch. Here's the secret. Resistant starch creates what scientists call the second meal effect. In simple terms, when you eat black beans, the good bacteria in your gut feed on that resistant starch and produce a compound called butyrate. And butyrate does 2 wonderful things. It helps keep your insulin steady, which prevents your muscles from breaking down. It improves how your body uses protein at your next meal. That means you're not just building muscle from the beans themselves. You're building more muscle from the foods you eat later in the day. A study published in Nutrients in 2020 confirmed this. Resistant starch in beans improves insulin response, lowers inflammation, and indirectly helps protect muscle mass in older adults. I think of Maria, age 68, originally from Mexico. For years, she felt tired and weak, her arms so frail she could barely lift a grocery bag. I suggested she add a small bowl of well-cooked black beans to her meals each day. 2 months later, she returned, smiling ear to ear. "Doctor, I can carry the cooking pot for my whole family again. I never imagined a traditional food could give my muscles back their strength. No expensive powders, no complicated recipes. Just 3/4 of a cup of cooked black beans a day can act like a natural shield for your muscles." One important note: if you have advanced kidney disease or need to restrict potassium or phosphorus, check with your doctor before adding a lot of beans to your diet. Black beans remind us of a simple truth. Sometimes strength doesn't come from what's fancy or costly. It comes from the humble foods simmering in our very own kitchen pot. #7 Beets. If black beans feed your muscles from the inside out, then beets protect them in a very different way, by keeping your blood flowing strong and steady to every fiber of muscle. The secret lies in the natural nitrates found in beets. When you eat them, those nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and opens up your blood vessels, like widening a highway. This allows more oxygen and nutrients to rush into your muscles, while carrying away the waste products that make you feel tired. And what does that mean in real life? You can walk farther without running out of breath. You can finish your house chores without feeling wiped out. Most importantly, your muscles stay nourished instead of slowly shrinking from poor circulation. A review published in Sports Medicine in 2017 showed that nitrates from beets can improve endurance and physical performance in older adults, especially for everyday activities like walking or climbing stairs. I think of Henry, age 70, a backyard gardener. He told me that just 15 minutes of digging in his garden left him exhausted, forcing him to sit down and rest. After I suggested a small glass of beet juice before heading outside, he came back weeks later with a big grin. "Doctor, I can work in the garden for nearly an hour now, and I still have energy left in my arms and legs. I thought growing old meant I had to give up my strength, but this little red drink gave me back a piece of my youth." The simplest way: enjoy 3-5 ounces, about 100-150 grams of cooked or roasted beets a few times a week, or make juice. Just blend them with carrots or apples to smooth out the earthy taste. A small caution: if you have low blood pressure or are taking medication for hypertension, check with your doctor before adding a lot of beets. Nitrates can sometimes push your blood pressure down a bit too far. Beets are a beautiful reminder that when your circulation is strong, your muscles can come back to life, no matter your age. #6 Watermelon. If beets help your muscles breathe better with nitric oxide, then watermelon brings a special gift of its own, a rare amino acid called citrulline. When you eat watermelon, especially the white rind that most people throw away, your body converts citrulline into arginine, which then becomes nitric oxide. Just like with beets, this nitric oxide helps to open up your blood vessels, deliver oxygen and nutrients to your muscles more quickly, speed up recovery after everyday activities, whether it's a morning walk or working in the garden. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research in 2013 found that drinking watermelon juice rich in citrulline could reduce post-exercise muscle soreness by up to 40% and cut recovery time almost in half. I'll never forget Linda, 65 years old, from Florida. She loved joining her morning Tai Chi class, but afterward her back ached the rest of the day and even walking felt heavy and slow. I suggested she try a simple fix: blend a cup of watermelon with the white rind into a smoothie right after class. Just a few weeks later, she came back smiling. "Doctor, now I finish class feeling fine, and I even have enough energy to go shopping in the afternoon." Beyond citrulline, watermelon is also rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that shields muscle cells from oxidative stress. Combined with its high water content, watermelon becomes a true, natural recovery drink, better than anything you'll find in a sports bottle. One important note: watermelon is not higher in potassium than bananas, as some believe. So even those monitoring potassium for kidney health can usually enjoy it in moderation. Just remember, the white rind is the real treasure for boosting citrulline. Watermelon teaches us this lesson. Sometimes, the part we throw away holds the very secret to keeping our muscles strong. #5 Ricotta. If watermelon brings the cool refreshment of nature, then ricotta, that soft, creamy cheese from Italy, is like a quiet companion for your muscles after 60. What makes ricotta so special is its natural whey protein. Unlike the whey you find in industrial protein powders, ricotta's whey is still intact, untouched by high heat or heavy processing. It remains wrapped in its natural package of fats and minerals, exactly the way your body was designed to use it. Another big advantage: ricotta is rich in leucine, the amino acid scientists call the on switch for muscle protein synthesis. Just about 2 5 to 3 grams of leucine in a meal is enough to tell your muscles, stop breaking down, start building back up. This was confirmed in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2018. I'll never forget Giovanni, age 75, from an Italian family. He once thought old age meant he had to accept weakness. But when he returned to a simple family tradition, fresh ricotta with a boiled egg every morning, something changed. A few months later, he walked back into my office, lifted his arms with pride and said, "Doctor, I can carry my 22-pound grandson again and I feel strong doing it." Ricotta also has another gift. It's gentle, soft, easy to chew and easy on the stomach. Perfect for anyone who struggles with swallowing or digesting milk. You can enjoy it mixed with a little honey and berries for breakfast, or spread on a slice of whole grain toast. Delicious, simple, and nourishing for your muscles all at once. One small caution: if you have advanced kidney disease or need to strictly limit protein, check with your doctor before making ricotta a regular part of your diet. Ricotta reminds us that sometimes the secret to staying strong isn't something exotic or new. It's the traditional foods that have sustained entire cultures for generations. #4 Kefir. If ricotta is the food that feeds your muscles during the day, then kefir is like a quiet night watchman, guarding your muscles while you sleep. The secret of kefir lies in its powerful combination: probiotics, dozens of beneficial strains that balance your gut bacteria, lower inflammation, and improve how your body absorbs protein. Scientists now call this connection the gut-muscle axis. Casein protein, a slow-digesting protein that forms a gentle gel in your stomach, releasing amino acids drip by drip for 6 to 7 hours. That means while you're resting, your muscles are still being fed, rather than going hungry and shrinking overnight. A review in Nutrients 2021 showed that probiotics in kefir not only support digestion, but also directly influence muscle strength and mass in older adults by reducing inflammation and improving protein use throughout the body. I think of Anne, 70 years old, who often complained that she couldn't sleep through the night. She'd wake up restless, and in the morning her arms and legs felt heavy and sore. I suggested she try a small glass of kefir, about 7 ounces, before bed. Just 1 month later, she came back with a smile and said, "Doctor, I finally slept straight through the night. And the most surprising part is that I wake up feeling lighter and my steps feel stronger." The beauty of kefir is how simple it is to use. You can drink it plain, add a spoonful of ground flaxseed for extra omega-3s, or blend in a handful of berries for antioxidants. Its light, tangy flavor makes it far easier to enjoy than heavy, chalky milk substitutes. One small note: if you are severely lactose intolerant or sensitive to dairy, start with a small amount or look for lactose-free kefir. Kefir is proof that building muscle isn't just about what you eat during the day. It's about caring for your body all night long. #3 Sardines. When I think about golden foods for protecting muscle after 60, one of the first that comes to mind is sardines packed in olive oil. Small, humble, inexpensive, but don't let their size fool you. These little fish carry more power than many pricey supplements on the market. In just one small can of sardines, you get 23 grams of complete protein with all the essential amino acids, omega-3s, EPA and DHA, not only reducing inflammation, but actually making your muscles more sensitive to protein. That means you build more muscle from the same amount of protein. Natural vitamin D3, crucial for both muscle and bone strength. Coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, the energy battery of muscle cells, which naturally declines with age. And don't forget the soft, edible bones, rich in calcium and phosphorus to keep muscles contracting properly and protect your joints. A study published in Frontiers in Aging 2022 highlighted that older adults who regularly consumed omega-3 had significantly better muscle protein synthesis compared to those who didn't, even when eating the same amount of protein. I think of David, 66 years old. He came to me worried because his grip was getting weaker. Even opening a jar had become a struggle. I suggested adding 2 to 3 cans of sardines a week to his meals. 2 months later, he shook my hand firmly and said with a smile, "Doctor, I feel the strength in my hands coming back. Now I can work in the garden for hours and still have the energy to hold my pruning shears." The biggest advantage: convenience and value. No cooking, no complicated prep. Just open the can and you've got a complete, muscle-building meal for a fraction of the cost of powders or pills. Of course, a word of caution. Some people may be sensitive to histamines in canned fish or have seafood allergies. Start slow and choose sardines packed in pure olive oil with low sodium to keep it heart healthy. Sardines in olive oil remind us of a simple truth. You don't need luxury foods to stay strong. You just need the right ones. #Salmon. If sardines are the quiet hero, then canned salmon is the steady companion of your muscles, nutrient-rich, practical, and surprisingly powerful. Just one small can of salmon, about 3 to 4 ounces, gives you 25 grams of complete protein to help maintain muscle mass. Omega-3s, EPA and DHA, reducing inflammation at the cellular level and making your muscles more responsive to protein. Natural vitamin D3, a nutrient many people over 60 are deficient in, often linked to muscle weakness and falls. Soft bones inside the can, packed with calcium and phosphorus that support muscle contraction and keep bones strong. And here's something most folks don't realize. The canning process actually makes salmon's protein easier to digest, which is especially helpful as our digestion naturally slows with age. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology, 2019, found that older adults who ate omega-3 rich fish regularly had a much lower risk of muscle loss, along with better grip strength and walking ability. I think of Mrs. Aiko, age 74, from Japan. She used to come home from grocery shopping completely drained, her energy gone after carrying even a light bag. After adding canned salmon to her meals 2 to 3 times a week, she returned 3 months later beaming. "Doctor, not only do I feel stronger, I even notice my skin looking healthier and brighter." The best part about canned salmon: convenience and time saving. No fancy cooking required. Just open the can and enjoy. Mix it into a salad, make a sandwich on whole grain bread, or simply eat it with rice. One note of caution: if you have gout or high uric acid levels, enjoy it in moderation, since salmon contains purines that can worsen the condition. And for heart health, choose cans labeled low sodium. Canned salmon reminds us that strength doesn't always come from complicated routines. It often comes from smart, simple choices we can make every single day. #1 eggs. We've journeyed through black beans, beets, watermelon, ricotta, kefir, sardines, and salmon. But the crown, the number one food for protecting muscle after 60, belongs to one of the most familiar items in every kitchen, the whole egg. What makes eggs take the top spot? Eggs contain protein with a biological value of 100, meaning your body can use nearly all of it to build muscle. The yolk is rich in leucine, the amino acid that flips the switch for muscle protein synthesis. The yolk also carries vitamin D, choline, and vitamin A, nutrients you simply don't get from powders or egg whites alone. And here's the part that often surprises people. Eggs contain natural cholesterol, which your body uses to produce testosterone and growth hormone, both of which naturally decline as we age. A well-known study in the Journal of Nutrition, 2017, proved this clearly. After exercise, people who ate whole eggs stimulated muscle protein synthesis 40% more than those who ate the same amount of protein from egg whites alone. The lesson: the power of food lies in its wholeness, not in isolation. I think of Robert, age 70. He had just come through surgery and lost a good deal of muscle. Every morning, he made himself 2 sunny-side-up eggs with vegetables and a slice of whole-grain toast. 3 months later, he came into my office, grabbed my hand firmly and said, "Doctor, I can get up from my chair without anyone helping me now." The pride in his eyes was proof of the simple strength that eggs can restore. And the beauty of eggs: they're incredibly versatile. You can boil them, fry them, toss them in a salad, or scramble them with vegetables. The important thing is, eat the whole egg. Don't throw away the golden yolk. A small note: if you have severe heart disease or uncontrolled high cholesterol, talk with your doctor about what amount is safe for you. But for most older adults, 1 to 2 eggs a day is not only safe, it's beneficial. Eggs remind us of this truth. Sometimes the best medicine for your muscles isn't in a jar or a bottle. It's in the simple frying pan sitting right in your kitchen. Now you've seen it. These 8 foods aren't exotic miracle cures. They are simple, familiar staples, but when you weave them into your day, they become a natural prescription for muscle strength. Here's what one simple day might look like. Breakfast: 2 whole eggs, sunny side up with vegetables plus a slice of whole grain toast. Mid-morning: half a cup of ricotta mixed with a handful of berries. Lunch: a black bean salad with colorful veggies and a drizzle of olive oil. Afternoon snack: a few slices of watermelon, include some of the white rind in a smoothie for extra citrulline. Dinner: 1 can of salmon or sardines paired with roasted beets. Before bed: a small glass of kefir to feed your muscles all night long. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive. Yet when combined, these meals help your body switch on muscle building around the clock. Food is the foundation, but to build the house, you still need the bricks and mortar. That's where resistance movement comes in. No gym required, just simple, everyday moves you can do at home. Sit to stand from a chair, 10-15 times, 2-3 sets. Build strength in your thighs and hips. Wall push-ups, 10-12 reps, 2 sets, keeps your shoulders and arms strong. Farmer's carry, walk for 1-2 minutes holding grocery bags or water bottles. Strengthens grip and steadies your back. Here's the secret: eat a meal rich in leucine, like eggs, ricotta, fish, or beans, within 2 hours after exercise. That's the golden window when your muscles are most ready to grow and recover. Remember this: every meal and every bit of movement is an opportunity. An opportunity to push back the clock, preserve your strength, and hold onto the independence that lets you live life on your own terms. As you can see, keeping your muscles strong after 60 doesn't require expensive protein powders or complicated supplements. Simple foods, eggs, black beans, canned fish, kefir, beets, watermelon, foods that have been part of our lives for generations, are more than enough to stop muscle loss and feed your strength each and every day. Here's the most important lesson. Your health and independence don't come from a laboratory. They come from your kitchen, from your dining table, from the choices you make at each meal. Every bite of the right food, every small act of movement, that's a brick in the foundation of a body that can stand tall against age. And I want you to remember this. Building muscle isn't just about looking good. It's about walking steadily, holding your grandchild in your arms, cooking your own meals, living freely without depending on anyone else. That, right there, is the true gift of strength after 60. If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend or a loved one who may be worried about getting weaker. Sometimes a simple meal can change the entire course of someone's life. And don't forget, stop by this channel every day. Together, we'll keep uncovering simple, science-backed ways to stay strong, healthy, and free, so you and the people you love can live with joy and confidence. Until next time, eat well, stay strong, and may you always walk through life with peace and strength.